If you are a book geek, then check out Audible, where you're going to get the largest selection of audiobooks anywhere on the internet. Sign up today and get a 30-day free trial to Audible. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below.
Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. If you probably heard of that phrase, pay yourself first, and you're wondering where it came from, well, it came from this person, George S. Clason, who is the author of this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this book is one of the most read books of all times, especially when it comes to the area of finance, education, and wealth. And the reason why this is so important is because the lessons that are told here through this book apply to this day and will apply for pretty much all of time. And so if you're not familiar with this book, when it was published in 1926, this was actually taken from parables or scriptures written by the Babylonian civilization. You know, these were actually taken from clay tablets. Okay, so around this time, thousands of years ago, paper had not been existed yet. So these were actually recovered and then transcribed and then eventually ended up in this book form. And so this book actually has stories, okay, as stories that are actually lifelong lessons. And if you actually read something like the Bible, this is very similar to it, okay? The language is very similar, but also very similar to the Bible, where there's a lot of lifelong lessons and stories. This is the same thing. However, this is very focused on financial wealth and freedom, okay? And so this really centers around a few key characters, okay, in the whole parables, these clay tablets. One is Akkad, the other one is Dabasir, and the other one is Sharu-Nadar. Okay, and so the richest man in Babylon refers to Akkad. And if you're not familiar with Babylon, it's in modern times, it's actually a location in Iraq, but it is actually the most wealthiest, successful, and one of the most advanced civilizations around the time that it existed. Okay, and whenever people think about Babylon during that time, they thought of wealth and money, okay? And so that is why this city is so important. And so I'm not going to go through the whole book. I'm going to go through some key topics that I think are important and how they relate to what we're doing today, okay? But the whole book itself, it's an amazing book, so definitely read it, okay? And so, like I said, Akkad is the richest man in Babylon. And early on in the book, you'll actually hear more about his parables, his stories. But then later on, you'll meet other people, okay, who give different lessons on wealth. And so one of the things that they talk about here is the 7 cures for a lean purse. So basically, what do you do if you're poor, okay? And so let me read you some of the different lessons and how, you know, they are actually related to people today, okay? So one of the lessons here to the 7 cures of lean purse is start thy purse to fattening, which is the first cure. So what Akkad talks about here is save 1/10 of whatever you earn. So basically, save your money, but live on less than what you need, okay? Which is a principle that we could talk about here today, okay? And so this is talking about saving 1/10, you know, of your coins, gold or silver that you had. In this case today, it's money. And then, you know, live on less, okay? So that is something that we still try to enforce, or not enforce, but this is a good tip that people should even do today. And then another one right after that is the second cure, control thy expenditures, you know? Don't spend more than what you need, okay? In this case, you know, because a lot of people, when they spend money on things that are not really important and they are not watching their expenses, it will actually overcome any amount of money that they make, you know, hence the fact that a lot of lottery winners go broke, okay? And then another cure that I like here is the 7th cure, which it says, increase thy ability to earn. So basically, make more money, okay? Instead of spending more money, go make more money. So that is just the 7 cures for lean purse, and other chapters that are like the one right afterward, meet the goddess of good luck. In here, Akkad asks the whole questions of, is there really something as luck, or is it something else? You know, luck is more of a thing of chance, whereas what he's saying here is you get more lucky, you have more opportunities when you put more effort or work into it, okay? So that is another great lesson. And then later on in the book, you will read about people like Dabasir, the camel trader. And here in one of his chapters, they talk about the clay tablets from Babylon and basically the lessons that Dabasir learned about paying back debt. Okay, in this case, a lot of these stories, as you get later on, during the time of Babylon, people became slaves. Slavery was something that was common. And so in these stories, he talks about how you could become a slave, how he came from a slave to becoming somebody who's really wealthy. And it's not just the literal sense of being tied to something, okay, which is here the debt, but also being tied to money, okay, how debt and money could keep you a slave even when you are free, okay? So that is a very important lesson here. And so he talks about here the importance of actually paying off your debt so then you don't become a slave to it, you know? And then later on, near the end of the book, there's another chapter called The Luckiest Man in Babylon. Here you learn about Sharu Nada, who is at this point an extremely wealthy merchant. But it also talks about how he got that way, the lessons that he learned, how he went from slavery to attain this, okay? And also the whole chapter really talks about how work, loving work, being a person who is known for their work will lead you to much success in being the luckiest man in Babylon. So those are just some of the few chapters and readings that I have from this book. There's many other things in here, but I absolutely love the fact that throughout this book, there's laws of gold, the walls of Babylon, how you can protect your money. All of these lessons right here in this book, they apply, and I never really thought about these things. How do we have these lessons or tips, that we hear about all the time? Well, they came from things like this, they came from people who actually existed thousands of years ago, and they already came up with a lot of these ideas, a long time ago. And so that is my review and thoughts on this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And so if you have not read this book and you want to get it and you wanted to support my channel, I do have an affiliate link in the description area below. And so if you had any thoughts on this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, or any other books that you enjoyed that are similar to it, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And as always, if you did enjoy these videos, you got value out of them, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geek Outdoors.
Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.